This is a review for the Neato D8. The D8's airflow was measured at 24 CFM. Its suction was measured at 0.42 kPa. The D8 had quite a bit of trouble in our carpet stress test. It repeatedly ended its run early in the test environment due to some type of error. This was very strange behavior that we didn't see with any other robot vacuum we tested. Over and over again, we reset the robot and put it back in starting position. And over again, it ended its run early with an error message. When the robot did move over the test environment, it picked up debris without issue. The D8 has a very wide direct cleaning path as its brush roll extends almost along the full width of the vacuum. It also has a side brush on one side that helps pull debris into this direct cleaning path. Theoretically, it should be able to clean large areas very quickly and efficiently with such a wide cleaning path. However, we weren't really able to see it in this test environment. In our carpet deep clean test, the D8 picked up 10 grams of debris after 3 passes over an area of carpet embedded with 30 grams of fine debris. In our hard floor stress test, the D8 once again struggled in the test environment. It again repeatedly ended its cleaning run early with an error message. When it did move over debris, it appeared to pick it up well enough, though we again weren't really able to see the robot's cleaning path and how it might clean moving repeatedly over the same areas in this test. We were also not able to see how well it could clean edges in this or our carpet stress test, and so we really can't comment on the D8's edge pickup performance. In our robot vacuum crevice test, the D8 did not perform well on default power or on maximum power. Even after extensive runtime, it still could not pull most of the debris out of the crevice used for this test on either power setting. In our human hair pickup test, the D8 picked up all the hair, but most of that hair wasn't pulled into its dustbin. 60 to 70% of the hair it picked up tangled around its brush roll and had to be cleaned off manually. In our pet hair pickup test, the D8 performed much better. It picked up and collected all of the shorter pet hair used for this test in its dustbin. We tested this LiDAR robot's cleaning efficiency and coverage in 2 different environments, an empty room and a cluttered room. In our empty room testing, we see the D8's general cleaning pattern in open spaces demonstrated quite well. It first moves along the perimeter of the room and then into its interior where it cleans in vertical rows. In the second trial, it again starts its cleaning run along the perimeter of the room and then moves towards its interior, though here it moves in horizontal rows as it cleans. And so the robot alternates between moving in vertical and horizontal rows in consecutive cleaning cycles. In our clutter room testing, we can see how well the D8 moves around large obstacles. It moves around most obstacles in the room without issue, except for the rectangular container in the top right. Even though there is sufficient space for it to move between the top of the container and the top edge, it does, after all, move through the same area several times here early on in the cleaning cycle. In this instance, the robot calculates that there is not sufficient space to move through this area, and so it turns around halfway along the container. And when it turns around, it moves the container. In the second trial, it again moves through the same area without issue at the start of the run, but eventually again has trouble in this area, and again moves the container in an effort to get out of this area. Otherwise, the D8 does fairly well in this test. It does have a little bit of trouble with the chair frame, as you can see here, but overall, it pads reasonably well and is able to get through the test environment without any errors, which is surprising considering how much it struggled navigating around the very simple test environment we use for our debris pickup testing. Other important specifications and test results we considered for this review are summarized here. Note especially that this is a mapping robot, and using the Neato companion app, you can set the robot to stay out of certain parts of the map. In the same chart, also note the D8's runtime, bin volume, and noise output, and how those specifications and test results compare to the average for all of the robot vacuums we've tested so far. Lastly, note the robot's diameter and height. These dimensions make the D8 one of the larger robot vacuums we've tested so far. Moving on to what we like and dislike about this vacuum, first let's talk about what we like. Its airflow and suction is excellent. So is its deep cleaning performance on carpet. The robot also has an above average sized dustbin, and it can run fairly quietly. Moving on to what we dislike about the D8, it performed poorly in both our carpet and hard floor stress tests. Not so much in that it couldn't pick up debris, but in that it couldn't navigate properly in the test environment. We didn't have these same issues with any other robot vacuum we tested, and we've tested over 30 robot vacuums so far. The D8 also struggled a bit in some of the tight spaces of our navigation test environment, and it has surprisingly low battery life for a robot vacuum at its price point. In terms of general recommendations, we cannot recommend the D8 if only because of its performance in our debris pickup testing. Again, the problem is not that it couldn't pick up debris properly, but rather that it couldn't navigate properly, without repeatedly giving error messages in a very basic test environment. See the description of this video for a link to the latest updated list of all of the robot vacuums we do recommend, and thank you for watching.